Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know that I've been missing for a long time, but it's okay guys, I'm back. Today I'll be doing Form 5 Chapter 1. I'm using the same notes as what I did in Channel. It's another YouTube education channel. So for those who cannot understand Mandarin, it literally says that 8 keywords to understand Form 5 Chapter 11. The reason why I chose Chapter 11 is because that previously in previous year, which is 2020, last year, okay, when they are taking SPM, right, the 2020 student, they asked me to do a video about Form 5 Chapter 11, which is inheritance, but I didn't have the time to do that, so I didn't do a YouTube video out of this thing. So today, for you guys, for 2021 and onward student, you can watch this video and easily you can understand the chapter. And when you understand this chapter, you will notice that how easy is this chapter and you don't have to memorize at all. You only have to understand the keyword, and when you understand the keyword, you're able to answer most of the question. So for example, let's get started, okay? Now we have a terms that we have to understand over here. First, we're going to start with a thing called gene. So what is gene? Gene means that we have the A, G, T, C, U, something like that, okay? So this is what we call as gene. They comes in a pair, right? Now, in real life or even in exam, we cannot represent A, C, C, T, 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 U, U, no, this kind of thing when we write a characteristic of a human. So what we're going to do is we have to use a thing called allele. Allele is an alternative form of gene. So we have to use alphabet to represent gene. So let's say the person is tall, I can use a capital T. So let's say the person is short, I can use a small t. This is what we call as allele. A to Z, up to you, your choice to choose any alleles that we can use. So when we talk about allele, we have a dominant allele and recessive allele. What is dominant? What is recessive? Remember, dominant as a king, recessive as an army. When you have a king, we always follow the kings, okay? Because the king power is greater than the army, right? So when you have only one king, of course, we will follow the king. Usually king, the dominant, we will use a capital letter. The army, recessive, we will use a small letter. To show the army characteristic, we need to have two small alphabet, okay? To show is an army characteristic, which is a recessive characteristic, we need to have two small alphabet. But to show it is a king, one is enough already. One capital letter is already show that it's a king already. So we don't need to have two to show that they are a king. One capital letter is enough to show that they are king, because always remember, it's a king, okay? King, one is enough already. To show the power, only one is enough, but your army, you need to have two gene or two allowed to represent your power. So this is dominant and this is recessive, okay? At this moment, you have to understand what is the dominant and recessive. Dominant means the king, capital letter. Recessive means the army, which is a small letter. Because we have three different categories over here, we have homozygous dominant. What does homozygous means? Homo, you can remember as same. Okay, same, it's called homozygous. Dominant means what? King, right? So same king, it means that we have capital letter. Too big M or too big T, too big G also can. Your choice, guys. Any alphabet that you prefer also can. Any alphabet, as long as they are capital letter, also can. It must be the same, okay? Because they are same, right? It's called homozygous dominant. It needs to be the same. Big M, too big T, too big G. Next, we have hetero. What does hetero mean? Hetero means different. When you have different, it needs to be a dominant as well. Why? Because we have a capital T and small t, right? It can be capital H and small h, capital G and small g. When we choose alphabet, you can choose any alphabet from A to Z, but I would suggest you to choose the alphabet that the capital letter and small letter, they don't look the same. For example, don't choose the V, okay? Don't choose U, because it's very hard for us to differentiate, to know whether which one is capital or small letter, right? So choose something that is very easy for you to recognize whether it's a capital letter or small letter. So again, when you see this thing, capital T and small t, guys, big T means what? Capital T, it means it's a king, right? It's a dominant, right? As I mentioned, to show that they are dominant, one T, big T is enough. One big T is enough. You have one king and one army. You follow who? Of course, follow the king, right? So this big T here, maybe representing top. This thing will represent a top. So it must be a capital letter and small letter. So for heterozygous, they are a dominant as well. They will show the dominant characteristic too, because you have a king, because you always follow the king power, right? Next, we have homozygous recessive. Again, what does homo mean? Homo means same. Recessive means the army, right? So army means small letter, right? So we have two small letter. It can be two small f, two small g, two small h, whichever alphabet that you prefer. To show that they have recessive characteristic, it needs to have two small alphabet. To show that they are army, they want to show their power. What they're going to do is, we have two army, okay, to show that they have power. So two small f, too small g, or any alphabet that you prefer. We call this as a homozygous recessive. These are the type that we have to know. Homozygous dominant, heterozygous, homozygous recessive. These are the three things that we have to differentiate which one is a dominant, which one is a recessive, which one is a heterozygous. Okay, next we have a thing called genotype. What does a genotype mean? Genotype, it means gene. To show that they are gene, again, as I mentioned, we cannot write ACTU, right? We cannot write that combination. So what we're going to do is we have to use allele. To show that they are allele, we cannot use this combination. This is the genotype. 2 big R, 1 big, 1 small, 2 small R. We call this as a genotype. What is a phenotype? Pheno means physical. Okay, physical appearance. So let's say big R representing red, small r representing white. We call this as a phenotype, physical appearance. Okay, we have an example over here. So as I mentioned, the big R representing red, small r representing white. Okay, when you have 2 big R, 2 king, right? Of course, they are red in color. 1 big, 1 small. Big means what? Follow the king, right? When you have a king characteristic, we always follow the king. So 1 big R, 1 small r is still red in color. To show that they are recessive, okay, to show that they are white color, they need to have 2 small r. 1 big, 1 small cannot be a mixture of red and white, guys. We always need to follow the king, okay? 1 big, 1 small, it needs to be red color also because we always follow the dominant. To show that they are recessive, it needs to be 2 small r. Okay, so we have dominant trait and recessive trait. Dominant, it means the dominant characteristic lah. Recessive means the army characteristic lah. So these are the keywords that we have to know. So 8 keyword, right? Actually, it's less than 8 keyword lah. So we have to know the first one, allele. We have highlighted that. Allele, dominant, recessive. We have homozygous dominant, heterozygous, homozygous recessive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 keyword, we can answer all of the question. I cannot say all, most of the question in chapter 11 by knowing how to draw a schematic diagram. Okay, so this is the keyword that we have to know. 8 keywords to understand the chapter lah. Okay, next, we're going to try to understand more in chapter 11 because chapter 11, we have 2 laws, Mendel's first law and Mendel's second law. We're going to start from Mendel's first law first. Mendel's first law called law of segregation. What does segregation mean? Segregation means separation, called segregation. So it means they are being separated. A separation phase should be anaphase. If you don't know what is the metaphase, anaphase, it's okay. I have uploaded the video for mitosis and meiosis. So you can watch the phases. If you still don't understand what is the metaphase, anaphase, so you can watch the video. So they'll be separated to form a gamete. This is first law, law of segregation. And usually first law, they only involve one characteristic. It means we're only trying to find the height, or we're trying to find the weight. We're trying to find the color. All okay, only one characteristic. We call this as monohybrid. Mono means only one characteristic. Okay, we're gonna try the question so that you can understand how does it works. Monohybrid. Okay, you can use a paper to write this thing down because it's just a writing thing. Okay, we're gonna try to how to draw a schematic diagram. To draw a schematic diagram is very important for you to understand in chapter 11. Very, very important. Okay, this is just a very standard basic thing that you have to know before we go through some of the STM question. It's a basic thing that we have to know first. It says big B represent dominant, which is the curly hair, small b represents straight hair. So the first question says both are homozygous. Homozygous means what? Both are homozygous. It means that they are the same. Okay, same. Same is called homo, right? So curly hair is dominant, right? Recessive is straight hair, right? Homo means they have to be the same. So for genotype of the parents for curly hair needs to be 2 big B. Okay, because same homo curly is 2 big B, right? Recessive straight hair. To show that they are recessive, it needs to be 2 small b. Because it's homozygous, right? 2 small b. And then we're going to try to draw the gametes. When we draw the gametes, remember, we have to circle the gamete. Okay, we have to circle the gamete. Now, at this phase, this is what we call as first Mendel law, called law of segregation. This is under meiosis. They will be separated during anaphase when they want to form a gamete. And then they will carry out fertilization to form your F1 generation. Okay, what is F1 generation? So imagine your parents is your parents. You are F1. It means that you are your parents' children. Okay, F2 generation means 2. F2 generation, it means that your parents' grandchildren, it means your children is called F2. So remember, parents, F1, F2. Parents is the first generation. F1 generation is the son. Okay, F2 generation is the grandson. It's called F1, F2 generation. For monohybrid, we usually only find F1 generation, like usually for monohybrid. So when you fertilize, how do we carry out fertilization? If you are already a pro, then you don't have to draw lines, but you are still a newbie, I will suggest you to draw lines. Means what? The first one, they will fertilize with this one. Okay, imagine this is your mom and dad. Mom and dad, for example, all is the same. Okay, all are the same thing, mom and dad. So the fertilization needs to carry out between the mom and dad. It cannot be between the mom and mom or the dad and dad, right? So the first combination you get is big B, small b. Okay, second combination, you're gonna get this one and this one. You get big B and small b. The third combination you're gonna get is big B, small b. The fourth combination you're gonna get is big B, small b. So it means what? Everything, all of the children here is big B, small b. Again, when you have a dominant, we always need to follow the dominant characteristic. Big B, small b, it means that they are curly hair. So over here, you can write all curly hair. All of them have curly hair. They have no ratio because all same, there's no ratio, okay? So this is the first one. Next one, both heterozygous. Hetero means what? Hetero means different. In order to be different, they need to be a dominant, okay? It needs to be a dominant. So again, curly hair is dominant, right? So since they are hetero, means they are different. It needs to be big B, small b, big B, small b. Okay, this is the genotype. Genotype means the gene. And then they will be separated. Separation is what? Process separation will be meiosis. This is meiosis. And then they will have fertilization. Okay, fertilization. And then we're going to go for fertilization of combination. The first combination we're going to get is this one, big B, big B. Second combination we're going to get is big B, small b. The third combination is this one. Okay, now in this case, should I write the small b first or big B first? Always remember, king always come first. The army don't come first. King always come first. So it will be big B, small b. And then the last one will be this one, 2 small b. Okay, 2 small b. Right now, we have different phenotypic characteristic. So if it's 2 big B, when you have a dominant, they will always show a dominant characteristic, right? So this is curly hair. This is curly hair. This is curly hair. 2 small b, it means they are recessive. So this is a straight hair, okay? Genotypic ratio. Okay, how do we want to write genotypic ratio? Okay, first of all, we're gonna write what is the difference over here. We have 2 big B, 1 big, 1 small, and 2 small, right? We calculate how many 2 big B do we have? We have 1 2 big B, we have 2 2 big, we have 2 1 big, 1 small, and 1 2 small b, right? This is the genotypic ratio. Phenotypic ratio, we have curly hair and straight hair. How many curly hair do we have? We have 3 curly hair and 1 straight hair. This is what we call as genotypic ratio and phenotypic ratio. We have to write the genotypic and the phenotypic out in order for us to get the answer. So this is the second combination. Okay, now the third combination, it says one of the curly hair is homozygous, another curly hair is heterozygous. Okay, it says one curly hair is homo, another curly hair is hetero. So what is homo? Homo is same, guys. Same means what? We have to write 2 big B. Okay, same is 2 big B. Hetero means different, 1 big, 1 small, and you have to form gametes. Remember to circle your gametes. This is fertile, this is meiosis. At the side, you can write meiosis. And then we have fertilization. So when you same thing, fertilization. Okay, if you are pro already, guys, if you are pro, don't need to draw lines anymore. You can straight away write the answer. If you are pro, but you know, if you feel like very confused, then don't write this. You draw your lines. It means that you draw this, you draw your lines. If you feel like no, you're not very confident with your answer, you draw line to get your answer. If you're not confident. And then we have phenotypic ratio. This is what? Or curly hair. Because you have dominant, right? When you have dominant, it always shows the dominant characteristic. Genotypic ratio, there's a difference. We have 2 big B and 2 1 big 1 small. In this case, we can simplify your answer. If you simplify your answer, it will be 1 2 1, right? If you can simplify, you simplify your answer. So the answer will be 1 to 1. 1 to 1 because you can simplify. Phenotypic ratio, there's no ratio because it's all curly hair. You have no straight hair to compare. Okay, the last one, curly hair is a heterozygous straight hair. Okay, so curly hair is hetero. Hetero means what? Different, right? 1 big B, 1 small b. Hetero. Straight hair. How do I know straight hair is a hetero or homo? Again, straight hair is what? Is a recessive. To show that they are recessive, it needs to be what? 2 small letters because they are recessive. So it needs to be 2 small letters. So same thing, we draw the gametes. Remember to circle your gamete. Okay, to circle your gamete, and then you have fertilization lah. And then same thing, if you are pro already, don't have to draw line. If you are still a newbie, then you draw your lines, okay? Not confident with yourself, you draw your lines. And you actually in exam, you have to write meiosis over here. You have to write fertilization over here. Okay, you need to write like that lah, okay, in exam lah. But in exam, there is no label at the side. You have to know the label at the side by yourself. But if you practice for a few times, then you will know the sequence. So it's not a very big problem over here. If it's not given in exam, you can remember by yourself. As you do 2 or 3 times, eventually you can remember what you have to write lah. Okay, after genotype, we have phenotype. So this is curly hair. This is curly hair. This is straight hair. This is straight hair because it's 2 small b, right? Then we have a genotypic ratio, big B, small b, and 2 small b. So same thing, 2, 2, 2, right? 2, 2 means what? It's 1, 1. 2, 2 means 1, 1. Phenotypic ratio, we have curly and straight. So same thing, 2, 2 means what? 2, 2 means 1, 1. Okay, this is how you write a phenotypic ratio. This is how we draw a schematic diagram, guys. This is the basic. If you cannot do this, it's okay. Practice few more times, then you will know how to draw a schematic diagram. This is the basic of all, okay? If you cannot do this, it means that you cannot do all of the question anymore. This is the basic of all. Now, done with the first Mendel's law, because what? First Mendel law, it means it's only one characteristic. Right? We are only trying to do a type of hair, either a curly hair or straight hair, but they are under type of hair. Right now, we're going to learn about a dihybrid. What is a dihybrid? Under second law, we call this as law of independent assortment. Independent assortment is under metaphase, okay? Metaphase 1. Metaphase 1. So under metaphase 1, we have different combination. Okay, for example, let's look at this part. We have blue color and red color, and we have Y and we have R, right? So for example, this Y here representing ugly lah. Example only, guys. This one is good looking. This one is tall. Maybe not this one. This is tall. Okay, okay. This is dwarf. Example only lah, guys. I'm just giving you an example. So big Y, small big R, small r representing different things. But this one here, this one here, they are representing height. So it's one character. This one representing appearance. So it's one character. So in meiosis 2, in second Mendel's law, a dihybrid, we can find 2 characteristics in this part. 2 characteristics. In one time, we can find 2 characteristics. Just now in monohybrid, we can only find 1, right? Either you want to find height, either you want to find a type of hair. That is only one type. Right now, we can find 2 types. So how you arrange in metaphase 1, it will affect your next generation. What does it mean? Okay, right now, when you separate, right, during anaphase, they will be separated like that, right? This is how you separate, right? So it means this combination, it will be ugly and tall. So all of the kids here, it will be ugly and tall. This combination is good looking and dwarf. All of the combination here will be good looking and dwarf. And the other combination, again, we're gonna write it out. The small y is ugly, the small r is dwarf. The big Y is good looking, the small r is tall. So when they separate or when they arrange in metaphase, okay, metaphase is how they arrange because they are 2 by 2, right? If you rearrange, okay, like that, then it's different already. All of the kids here will be ugly and dwarf. All of the kids here will be good looking and tall. So how you arrange in metaphase, it will affect the gamete. It's not just prophase 1. Because in prophase 1, we have learned that they will carry out crossing over, right? Even in metaphase 1, they can also cause a genetic variation. This is genetic variation because how you arrange, it will affect the next generation, right? This is under second Mendel's law. We call this as independent assortment. Independent assortment. So now that we know, but this one you cannot choose. You cannot choose, well, next time I want to have a kid with all of them are tall and good looking. I arrange the chromosome. Not possible, guys. Not quite possible. Not quite possible. Okay, the fastest way is to find a very good looking person. That is the fastest way to get a good gene, right? But because we cannot rearrange the gene in our body, how they carry out prophase, how they carry out metaphase, we cannot control. So we're gonna have 4 combinations. Here combination 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna have 4 different combinations. When you have 1 sperm, 1 ovum, we have 4 combinations. It depends on which one fertilized with which one. This is what we call as a second Mendel's law, dihybrid. At the same time, we can find 2 characters. Over here, we can find appearance and height. Okay, we're gonna try how to draw a second Mendel's law. Okay, same thing, you can find a paper out. Okay, you can draw this thing down. Okay, usually for this question, if they ask an essay question, it will be 10 marks. Easy peasy 10 marks, guys. Don't need to form any sentence. You're gonna get 10 marks. 10 marks is a lot, guys. 10 marks is a lot. Okay, it says Jackson is tall but ugly. His wife is dwarf but good looking. It's just a statement, guys. Don't take it seriously. Okay, it's just a statement. Both of them are homozygous. State the possible F1 and F2 generation. Okay, now what is F1 and F2? Again, F1 is the son. F2 is the grandson. Okay, it's called F1, F2. Usually for dihybrid, can only use it in animal and plant. Cannot use it in human. Okay, later I explain to you why cannot use it in human. Can only use it in animal or plants only. No human. Over here, I'm just giving you an example. So that's why I say don't take it seriously. It's just a statement. Usually it will be animal or plant. Okay, later I can tell you why. Okay, so again, Jackson is tall and ugly. The wife is dwarf but good looking. Big T representing tall, small t representing dwarf. Big H representing ugly, small h representing good looking. So we have the information that we need to draw a schematic diagram. In exam, there is no labeling at the side. So we have to write the label by ourselves. So we have Jackson and the waifu, Jackson and waifu. So we're going to start from the parents' phenotype first. Actually, you don't have to start with this, but it's okay. We're going to start with this. Parents' phenotype. What does parents' phenotype mean? It means the physical appearance, right? It's called phenotype. So Jackson is what? Tall but ugly. Tall, ugly. The wife is what? The wife is dwarf and good looking. Okay, dwarf and good looking. We're going to try the second one. It's called parents' genotype. Parents' genotype, we cannot do it wrongly. Once you get the parents' genotype wrongly, your F1, F2, everything will be wrong. So this genotype is very, very, very important. Now, tall is what? Homozygous, right? It means the same, right? So tall, it means two big T, right? Dominant, homo, right? Homo, dominant, right? Two big T. Ugly is what? Ugly is dominant also, right? So two big H. Two big H, Now, dwarf is what? Dwarf is two small t. Good looking is two small h. Now we get the parents' genotype. This one, we cannot do it wrongly. Once you get it wrongly, the rest of the question will be wrong. A lot of students, they will also ask, teacher, should I write the H first or T first? You have to follow the question. If they give you tall, you have to write the T first. Okay, the T first. Okay, if they give you ugly, then you have to write the H first. So it depends on how they arrange the words. So we always follow the questions sequence. Tall but ugly or ugly but tall. You have to follow what the question says. So this is how I get two big T, two big H, two small t, and two small h. After that, we have to find what? We have to find gametes. Okay, gametes over here, gametes. Okay, to form gametes, just now I mentioned that we have to carry out a process called meiosis. Meiosis, right? Now, how do we want to form a gamete? Okay, when we want to form a gamete, over here is between, okay, let's look at Jackson's first. Jackson's first, right? It's the same process. This one fertilized with this one, then we get not fertilized. This one combined with this one combined with this one combined with this one, and this one combined with this one. No matter how you combine, you will get the same answer, right? The answer will be big T and big H, right? No matter how you combine, you're gonna get big T and big H because it's the same. Same goes to the wife. Okay, the wife, small t and small h, right? No matter how you combine, you get the same answer. What you get? One small t and one small h. This is the gamete from Jackson and the wife. Big T, big H from Jackson, small t, small h from the wife. After that, what we're gonna do? We're gonna carry out fertilization. We're gonna form our F1 generation, fertilization. We have F1 generation is called F1 genotype. Okay, how do they want to form? Okay, when they fertilize in this case, like that, when we fertilize, right? We put the same alphabet together and dominant in front. Okay, same alphabet and then dominant in front. So same alphabet, we have what? T, T, H, H, right? Same alphabet, T, T, H, H. So the big T and then small t, big H, small h. And you're going to ask me, teacher, I thought dominant to be in front. How come this small t can can be before the big H because they are two different characters. The T representing height, the H representing appearance. They are two different things. So remember, the concept is same alphabet together. After that, only you rearrange dominant in front, recessive at the back. Okay, dominant in front, recessive at the back. This is what we're gonna do when we draw a genotype in this case. Okay, big T, big H, small h. It can be any alphabet. This is just one of the example. Okay, and then we have the next one, which is F1 phenotype. What is phenotype? Phenotype means physical appearance. When you have dominant, we always follow dominant characteristic. What is the dominant characteristic over here? Big T is what? Big T is tall. Big H is ugly. So it means what? Jackson's first generation. It means Jackson's children will be all tall and ugly. All tall and ugly, because this is the result, right? All tall and ugly. Now we have to find F2 generation. It means that we have to find Jackson's grandson. Okay, just now as mentioned, right? Why this dihybrid we cannot use human is because that in this case we have to use F1 times F1. It means they fertilize between the same generation. And not in human, we call it as incest. It's like brothers and sisters, no, they have babies. That cannot. That's why we can only use it in animals and plants only. Because animal and plants don't care one ma. Okay, whether they are siblings or they are not siblings, cousin or not cousin, it doesn't really matter. But human cannot lah. But I'm just giving you human for an example lah. So we have self-fertilization between F1 and F1. So we're gonna use different color. F1, maybe I use purple color lah. F1 times F1. Okay, we have F1 times F1. We call this as a self-fertilization or self-pollination for plants. Self-fertilization or self-pollination usually will be plant. We call this as self-pollination. Now, F1 times F1 means what? It means that we have to use big T, big H, small h times big T, big H, small h. Okay, because F1 times F1, right? And then we're going to find the F1 gametes. F1, this is sorry, F1 genotype, forgot to write this one. And then we have F1 gametes. Okay, how do we want to form F1 gametes? Okay, let's look at this part here. Same thing, we have to draw lines. If you're not sure, you draw lines. The T and H will fertilize. So the first combination we get is big T, big H. Okay, the first combination. Second combination we're gonna get will be, we use this color lah. Big T and small h. Okay, the third combination we're gonna get is small t and big H. Small t, big H. Can see, right? Small t, big H. The last one we're gonna do will be this one. Small t, small h. Okay, small t, small h. And then you're gonna ask me, teacher, why this small t can be in front of big H? Why cannot be big H and small t? Because we have to follow. If you write T first, you're gonna write T first. TH, TH, TH. Okay, we have to follow this sequence. We cannot suddenly become big H and small t because we don't follow the original sequence. If you start from T first, you have to start from T first. And as I mentioned, T and H is two different characters. That's why T can come first before H. Because T is tall or dwarf, H is good looking or ugly, right? That's why they are two different characters. So you need to write the T first before you write the H, small t and big H. The other side will be the same because it's the same thing, right? So we're going to copy the same thing down. So we have big T, small, big H, big T, small h, small t, big H, small t, small h. Okay, this is the combination we will get. Okay, next, we're going to draw a thing. We're going to find our F2 generation. Okay, now, when we have two different characteristics, what we do, we're going to draw a thing called Punnett square. What is a Punnett square? Punnett square is a 5 times 5 box. Okay, so right now we're going to draw a 5 times 5 box. Okay, 1, 2, 3. You cannot draw a straight line. 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you draw a 5 times 5 box. Okay, it's a bingo box. If you don't know what is bingo, it means that we are different generation. Okay, so we have F1 times F1, right? So we have to, what do we have to fill in here? We have to fill in this thing. This one we fill in here. This one we fill in here. But it's the same lah. No matter how you fill in, it's still the same, guys. Okay. So we have big T, big H, big T, small t, big H, small t, small h. Same goes to the side one. Big T, big H, big T, small h, small t, big H, small t, small h. Okay, you're going to get this combination. And then we have to fill in the blanks over here right now. How do we want to get the answer over here? This and this is a combination. It's an intersected point between this one, right? So if this is an intersected point, our answer will be big T, big T, big H, big H. Why? Because as I mentioned, same alphabet put together, dominant in front, recessive at the back, right? But this one is all dominant lah. Next, this is the combination of this and this box, right? Okay, and then we have what? Big T, big H, and small h. Remember, same alphabet together, dominant in front, recessive at the back. So you continue lah. Okay, this is the intersection between this and this, right? You're gonna do big T, small t, big H, big H. Okay, and then next one, big T, small t, big H, small h. Big T, big H, small h. Well, I feel like I'm a rapper now, but I'm just gonna write, guys. I'm not gonna read because I feel as I read, I get confused. So you guys can check your answer after you have done writing it. So you can try to write. Usually writing don't need to think one lah. What you see is what you write lah, guys. But just remember, same alphabet, you put it together. Recessive at the back, dominant is in front. That's only. Okay, this is how we're gonna get. Usually what people will do is they will have a careless mistake. That's all. Only careless mistake. It's not they don't know how to do. It's just a careless mistake. So this is the result lah. This is the result that we have. Now, after we draw F2 generation, we have to do the next one, which is the F2 genotype. F2 genotype. What is the F2 genotype? F2 genotype, it means not genotype, phenotype, sorry. F2 phenotype is the physical appearance, right? F2 phenotype is the physical appearance. How do we know what is the physical appearance that do we have? You can use the manually way. You can see what this one is what tall and ugly. You can do one by one, but actually we have only 4 types of phenotype. How do I know? You just look at the question. This one and this one is the first pair. Okay, the first pair. This one and this one is the second pair. Third pair will be this and this, third pair. Fourth pair will be this and this, the fourth pair. So we know that we have 4th pair already, 4 pair, right? So you write the 4 pair first. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 pair in total. So the first pair that we have is tall and ugly. Second pair we have is tall and good looking. The third pair is dwarf and ugly. The fourth pair is dwarf and good looking. Okay, so we have 4 pair in total lah. Tall, ugly, tall, good looking, dwarf, ugly, and dwarf, good looking. Okay, now we're gonna calculate how many tall and ugly over here. So you can use a highlighter or you can just stick in your exam when you are doing exam. So tall and ugly needs to be dominant T and dominant H. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Big T and big H. As long as you have big T and big H, that one will be tall and ugly. Next, we have tall and good looking. Tall means capital T, right? Good looking means 2 small H, right? So I'm going to use different color. I'm going to use, maybe I use this one, okay? Tall and good looking. So dominant T, 2 small H, dominant T, 2 small H, dominant T, 2 small H. So we have 3 in total, right? Next, dwarf and ugly. Dwarf and ugly needs to be 2 small T. Ugly needs to have a dominant. So we have 2 small T, big H, 2 small T, big H, 2 small T, big H. So it's still 3. And then 1, don't have to count out. The last one is 1 lah. So the answer is 9331. And 3, the answer is fixed. How do I know it's 9331? Number 1, when I see the question says that if both are homozygous, the parents are homozygous, the answer confirmed is 9331. Or when I know that the F1 genotype is this one, this combination means big, small alphabet, capital, small alphabet, right? This combination, right? Any alphabet also cannot, but capital, small, the answer is 9331. So it's a fixed answer. Most of the time it's 9331. If you don't trust me, you can try a lot of state paper, then you will know that you will understand what I'm trying to say. That most of the answer is 9331. But we talk about a dihybrid cross. No, usually it's a dihybrid cross. This is 9331. So This one, maybe the first time when you do it, you don't get it because in a very short time, you actually learn monohybrid and dihybrid. So when you practice a few times, then you're gonna get how do we draw a dihybrid cross. Very common asked question and also a very common use technique that we have to use to answer this question lah. Okay, now done with this one, we're gonna try more questions. We have a few questions, so we can do it lah. So question 1, it says 5.1 shows a different length of tail and different color of fur were inherited in a cat. Allow for short tail, which is dominant T. T is to long tail, and allow for black fur. Big B is dominant to white fur. So in this case, we know what? Short tail is dominant, okay? Long tail is recessive, black is dominant, and then white is recessive. So we have short tail over here. The first one is short tail, right? Short tail is a dominant. So we can write down first whether this is a hetero or homo. Okay, we're gonna look at this diagram first. Okay, if you look at this diagram, right, how do I know that short tail is a hetero or homo? We have to look at the children. Can you see all children is with short tail? It means that the short tail will be 2 big T. Okay, why is it not small t? Okay, because long is a recessive, right? 2 small t, right? Okay, we're gonna draw the combination. If you don't understand, it's okay. We're gonna draw the combination up. So if it's this combination and this combination, all of the children will be this combination, right? It means it will be a short tail, right? But if your combination is big T, small t, and 2 small t, it means that your combination can be this or it can be this. It means we have 2 different group of combination, but you can see here, all of them are having short tail. So it means that the short tail here must be homo dominant. Okay, so white fur is 2 small b, and then black fur, how do I know is 2 big B or 1 big 1 small? Same thing. Can you see all of the children is black? If all of the children is black, it means that this is a 2 big B. Okay, this is a 2 big B lah. I mean, based on what you see here is 2 big B because it's all black, right? Because if it's not all black, the concept is the same. Like you can draw this thing out, then you will know your answer whether it's right or wrong. Okay, state the genotype of cat Q. So cat Q is what? Cat Q will be we have big T, small b, and then we have the small t, big B, right? So do we actually need to write this combination out? The answer is we don't need to. Why? Because no matter how we join, we need to have a dominant and recessive, right? So again, this is what? This is a big T, big B, small b. How do I get this answer? Literally, you just combine them together. This is what? Big T, small b. This is small t, big B. So when you combine, you're going to get this answer over here. Okay, because this is the combination, right? This is this combination. This is this combination. So when you have this combination, you get this big T, big B, small b. All PQRS is the same. Big T, big B, small b. Okay, so this is the genotype. Okay, next, complete the Punnett square to show the genotype of offspring if cat P and S are crossed together. P and S is the same. Okay, P and S is the same. So we get this thing right. This is the F1 genotype, right? Okay, we get this one right. So we have to find the gametes out. How do we find the gametes out? We have this one. The first combination we get is big T, big B. The second combination we get is big T, small b. The third combination we get is small t, big B. The fourth combination we get is small t, small b. If you notice, the way of doing it is the same as just now over here. The same thing. Okay, this one, okay, over here. It's the same way of doing it. So if we have the answer over here, we just fill in the blank. So they actually fill in the big B, small, big B, big T, big B. This is big T, small b, small t, big B. Same as this one. This is this and this. Okay, and then you fill in the blanks. I think filling the blanks you don't get wrongly unless you have careless mistake. Sometimes when I do too fast, I also get careless mistake. So guys, remember to double check your answer after you finish drawing a Punnett square. And this will be the answer. So you can check after you have done writing it. And then small t, big B. And then the last one will be this combination. So yeah, you double check your answer lah, because even me, sometimes when I do too fast, I also get careless mistake lah. So this is how we get a Punnett square. So that's why if you know how to find your F1 generation, then you know how to do this question. So that's why knowing how to draw a schematic diagram is very important, guys. So after done with this, we're going to try to look at the next question. It says, cat R is crossed with cat W, which is a homozygous for long tail and white fur. Explain how a cat with long tail and white fur is obtained. Okay, now cat R and W is who? R and W. Okay, there's R. Okay, now R is over here. This is R. And there is no W, right? So we have to identify W is who. So R is who? R is big T, small t, big B, small b. So we have to figure it out. W is homozygous for long tail and white fur. Long tail and white fur is what? Long tail is 2 small t, white fur is 2 small b. So it's 2 small t, 2 small b. How do we get a long tail and white fur? Okay, how do we get all of the generation with long tail and white fur? Same as W lah. It means that this one here, any one from here, needs to combine with this one and this one, the small t and small b. The small t and small b. So first of all, we have to write long. The gamete form is full long. The gamete form from this one will be same as this one we have written over here, which is big T, big B, big T, small b, small t, big small t, small b. Okay, small t, big B first, and then small t, small b. This one here will be small t, small b. It means that this one need to fuse with this one. Only you're gonna get 2 small t and 2 small b. Sometimes chapter 11, it needs some common sense. Then you can try the question. So the first sentence, you can see that they actually explain the parent R is what, the gamete is what, and then parent W is what, the gamete is what. So you have to explain the third sentence, which is this one fused with this one, it will form this one. It's very easy to get marks by writing sentence because it's just what you understand. First mark, you explain what the first parent. Second mark, you explain the second parent. The third mark, you explain the combination. Then you're going to get 3 marks over here. First mark, second and third mark, okay? Sometimes it requires you to write sentence, but I don't think it's very hard to form sentence because it's what I say, first parent, second parents, and combination. That's all. It applies to all of the question. Okay, diagram 5.4 shows a cross between 2 mice. We have hetero, homo, and then we have the children over here, black fur and white fur. Explain why 2 of the offspring have black fur while another 2 have white fur. So how do we do this kind of question? Very easy, guys. Okay, now, black fur and white fur, which one is dominant, which one is recessive? We have to see whether the children here obtained the color or not. Hetero black fur, obviously this is what? Dominant, because only dominant can be hetero. So this is, for example, this is black, big B and small b. White confirmed is a recessive already because hetero is black, right? Black means what? Dominant. This is 2 small b. So we have to look at the keywords. When you see heterozygous, it means that they are dominant, because in order to be hetero, it needs to have the dominant. So we have big B, small b, and the that one will be 2 small b. So when you combine them together, if you want, you can draw over here. If you combine them together, what you're going to get? You get big B, small b, big B, small b, small b, small b, and 2 small b, right? So you get big B, small b, big B, small b, 2 small b, 2 small b. So when you are doing a draft by yourself, don't have to fill in anything. Don't have to draw a gamete also. Just straight away get your answer. Then you can get answer. So they ask you why one of the offspring is black. Okay, sorry, 2 of the offspring is black, 2 of the offspring is white, because we have to say black is the dominant. Dominant is black color, right? Where the white is a recessive, right? When they inherit the black one, they will get the dominant genome, which is black color. In order to be white, it needs to have 2 small alphabet, which is 2 small b, which is the recessive gene. This is the answer. Ta-da! So you have to understand the concept, only you can write your answer. So same thing, you have to explain the black is dominant, the white is a recessive, and then the children will be 1 big, 1 small. Then will be your answer. So sometimes you need to have, concept of common sense in order for you to get your answer lah. Okay, we're gonna try one more question or maybe two more questions over here. Diagram 5 shows the genetic diagram of a cross between a tall and green pot pea plant with a short and yellow pot pea plant. T is a dominant, T is dominant, and then small t is recessive. Allow big G is dominant for green. Sorry, I should highlight the tall word. This is the tall, this is the short, G is green, small g is yellow. So we have to find the gamete first. Again, how to find gamete? Big T, big G, because how you combine, you get the same answer. Small t, small g, you get the same answer. And then your F1 phenotype. Phenotype means physical appearance. When you have dominant T, it means tall. When you have dominant G, it means green. So this is tall and green color. Tall and green color. And then they are already very good. They draw all of the steps for you already. What you need to do next is A1, we have to answer. A2, we also have to answer because we have written over in the question already. They ask you, table 5 show the Punnett square of a self-cross between F1 generation to form F2 generation. Again, self-cross means what? F1 times F1. You get the answer over here. And they ask you to fill in the blanks. I think fill in the blanks you can do by yourself because big T, big G, small g, big T, small t, big G, small g, and then same lah. Okay, just fill in the answer because I don't want to read. I get confused sometimes. Small t, and then we have this as well. Okay, so we have, when you complete, you get 2 marks. Determine the probability of having a tall and yellow pot pea plant in F2 generation. So how do we want to get a tall and yellow pot? Tall is what? Tall means dominant T, right? Yellow means 2 small g, right? So as long as you have 2 small g and 1 dominant T, your answer will be that. T, big T, small t, or big T, and then 2 small g. So the first one you get the 1, 2, and then the last one will be, where is it? This one, okay, I found it. Okay, so the answer is 3/16. Why is it 3/16? Because you have 16 possibility, right? So out of 3 is tall and yellow. So this is the answer for this one. Okay, next one. We have to do some simple next question, and we need a lot of common sense by doing question 3. Yeah, it says an experiment was conducted on a pea plant. The smooth pea plant was crossbred with wrinkle seed pea plant. The result shows all F1 generation have smooth seed. All the F1 generation are then crossed within each other. So we have smooth that cross with wrinkle. All of the F1 is smooth. Okay, all is smooth. So in this case, we can use any alphabet, your choice. But as I mentioned, don't use any alphabet that's gonna make yourself confused. So let's say this smooth here is big R lah, for example, dominant big R. This one is 2 small r. So to get a smooth seed, you need to have 1 big R, 1 small r. Okay, now again, how do I know this is 2 big R, not 1 big, 1 small? If this is 1 big, 1 small, okay, you draw this thing out, then you will answer, or you will understand. This one fills with this one, you get 2 small r. This one fills with this one, you get 1 big, 1 small. When you have 2 small r, it means that your F1 generation is not all smooth seed. So your smooth seed needs to be 2 big R. 2 big R. 2 small r, you only get 1 big, 1 small. So by using a genetic diagram means schematic diagram. We have to explain what is the Mendel first law. Okay, we have to draw this schematic diagram out again. When you draw, please remember to label at the side. We have parents, phenotype. If you don't want to write parents, phenotype is definitely okay. This is smooth and wrinkle. And then we have a parents genotype. Parents genotype is big R, small r. We have gamete. To form gamete, we have meiosis. We have big R, small r. If you only want to write one time, it's also okay because they are the same thing. We have fertilization. Fertilization, we get F1 genotype. F1 genotype, we get, actually it's the same lah. Big R, small r. All of them get the big R, small r. So your F1 phenotype will be all smooth seed. That will be your answer. Okay, at the end of experiment, 2000 pea seed are produced. How many pea seed are smooth seed? Okay, at the end of the experiment, guys, if you read the question again, they say what? The F1 generation are then self-cross, right? Cross between each other, right? So at the end of the experiment, it means at the end of this F1 times F1. So we have to calculate F1 times F1. Okay, this one, F1 times F1. We calculate over here. F1 times F1. Big R, small r, big R, small r. So we have to draw, we have to know how many smooth and how many wrinkle, right? So again, just simply draw by your own understanding. You're going to get your answer lah. The first one is 2 big R, small r, big R, small r, 2 small r. This one here will be your F2 generation. F2. At the end is F2 generation, right? So how many is smooth seed? This 3 here is smooth seed. So it's 3 out of 4. You use 2000 times 3 out of 4, you will get your answer. 2000 times 3 out of 4, I think is 1500. And then 2000 times 1 over 4, because this is only 1 over 4, right? The answer is 500. So sometimes you need to do some calculation as well, but you have to understand the question first, guys. By understanding the question, you only can do the question. Okay, which characteristic is dominant? Which characteristic is dominant? Obviously, is smooth seed. Why? Because to show that they are the dominant, the F1 generation is smooth. That's why smooth is the dominant. If wrinkle is dominant, F1 generation, they will have the wrinkle, but F1 generation got no wrinkle, right? So smooth will be the dominant. So this is the question. More or less will be the same, the answer. So try to do a lot of questions, then you will understand actually all questions from Form 5 Chapter 11 only requires you, number 1, using your common sense. Number 2, knowing how to draw a schematic diagram. That's all only. All of the questions are the same. So hopefully you guys can understand better in this subtopic, or maybe this entire chapter, because it's the same. Just draw a schematic diagram, that's only. Hopefully you guys can understand better in this chapter. Any question, you can comment below, or anything that you want me to do, you can also comment below. I will read the comment section, okay? So I will see you guys when I see you guys again. Bye guys. Ciao.